Hello and welcome to the Sharing the Light episode here at the Sunshine Cathedral. Today I'm joined by the senior pastor of the Sunshine Cathedral, Reverend Dr. Durrell Watkins, and also Reverend Tanya Guzman, who is the Minister of Congregational Life at the Sunshine Cathedral. And our topic for this segment is why religion in the 21st century. So, senior pastor, why religion in the 21st century?
I don't remember. I think it was Rabbi Harold Cushman in one of his books, who talked about asking his father why they go to temple, and his father said, my friend goes to temple to talk to God, and I go to temple to talk to my friend. So I think we all have different reasons for being religious. And I think 21st century reasons may differ very much from why people were religious in the Middle Ages, why people were religious in antiquity. There were times in history where one simply was religious. It wasn't really an option. And so you were born into this community, and that means that you had devotion to these gods. And of course there were always people more or less faithful, but you just identified with that community. And then throughout the years, people have tried to use religion like magic to cure things when there wasn't scientific ways to cure things, to help defend against an enemy, help our army win against their army, sort of thing. So the gods are always invoked for personal gain, really. And so I think that's the basis of the question. Those things don't make much sense anymore. Also, when life expectancy is about 30 years. When you die young, when you might be a grandparent in your early 30s and not live to see your grandchildren grow up, the idea that the consolation of life being cut so short is that you get a second chance in another world, and in that one it just goes on and on and on. So these kinds of things were survival mechanisms. I mean, they helped you cope with tragedy. They helped you, our enemies defeated us. We must have been unfaithful to our God. So now we'll repent, and then one day we'll be restored. That sort of it was great psychological benefit, and there was probably great biological benefit. People coming together, taking care of each other, forming structures. Here's the high priest. Here are the people. Here are our rituals. We're all together, banding together. Well, that helps that helps groups survive. So, so it's in the evolutionary process. That was probably very good. It brought people together, and people fare better together than when they're on their own. So there have been lots of reasons always for religion. Are those reasons still valid in the 21st century? And I think some of them not so much. And yet, some of us are innately, it seems, religious. We seem to be hardwired. We love religion. We love telling the stories. We love coming together. We love ritual. And so there is some purpose, I think, to being religious. Religion for me is not fire insurance. It is not what saves us from an afterlife dungeon. It isn't what gets us into an afterlife country club. That sort of selfish use of religion and then use against other people. Not only does this get me into the country club, but if you don't believe what I believe, you don't get admitted to the country club. What a petty use of religion. And so that doesn't work for me. Religion for me is not the ticket to the afterlife. Religion for me isn't about who can be acceptable and who isn't acceptable. There are people who aren't religious, who are very upstanding, ethical, generous, kind, and there are religious people who are very nasty and mean. And so religion doesn't guarantee that you'll be a good person. Lack of religion doesn't guarantee that you won't be a good person. So religion for me isn't about ethics. Religion for me isn't fire insurance, to save me in the afterlife. Religion for me isn't magic to help me have some wishes granted in this life. And yet I am religious, and I think, and I want people who can find benefit from it to enjoy religion. And I think the benefit of religion in the 21st century is that it brings people together. It forms community. It is the cure for loneliness, because you're brought into community. Friendships are formed. Relationships are made. If we will reimagine the rituals, they can still help us feel connected to life, to the web of existence, to one another. It still brings us together to comfort one another in times of grief and loss, to celebrate with each other in times of joy, birth of a baby, weddings, those kinds of things. So I think that religion still is very life-giving, and religion has another purpose in the 21st century that it may not have had before, and that is correcting some of the damage done by religion that's been misused. And so for religious people to stand up and say, we're not trying to save you. We don't think you're a mistake. We don't think that you're innately flawed. We think that you have sacred value. So for religion to say, if religion was used to tell you you're a bad person, well, let's use religion in a better way to affirm your goodness. If religion was used to keep you apart, you're different religions, you can't marry, let's now use religion to bring people together. Interreligious couples can thrive. So I think in addition to all of the good social and psychological reasons for religion and for sharing spirituality is individual, but in religious context we get to share that, and that's sort of fun and exciting. But in addition to all of that, to offer a corrective to the damaging and abusive ways that religion has been used in the past, I think that's very important in the 21st century.
Tony, what's your take on that?
Well, as Durrell was talking, the word that kept coming to mind was community, and that has been to me a great experience, especially here at the Sunshine Cathedral, where I have seen that we have this great diversity of congregants, people that come from all walks of life, people that do not even know what they believe yet. But yet they come through our doors.
And how fun to work it out rather than be told what it has to be.
Exactly, but they come for the community. That's what they come for. So really, I think that in the 21st century, what the world is looking for is more community, really, and less religion. Yes, religion does have its purpose. But community is really what we need, because for instance here during our worship service, I see the hope and the healing that happens there, and how people with all different beliefs, and we can all go out and just share that with the world, and over and over and over every Sunday. That's the feedback that we get from people, and I just think it's wonderful. And so it has been a great blessing being here at the church, and getting that from people. So yes, it's less religion, more community.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that the leading surveys also point to about why people seek out houses of worship. It is about community. It is about primary, secondary, then the spiritual development, and it's not that high thing about being religious or even denomination. Even in the denomination world, they're looking for community.
Right.
And what does it mean to be in community with each other?
A religion that denies science or history is irrelevant. A religion that its focus is about getting you to the next world is irrelevant. There's so much in this world that we've got to address injustices and show compassion to the hurting, and save people from loneliness. There's too much of that to do to worry about the next life. It'll be fine, whatever it is. If it is, I don't even think about it. Right. So it's a religion that's meant to save people, a religion that is just meant to talk about miracles. That religion is no longer relevant. But a religion that will say that
Right.
is relevant, and relevance is what people need, purpose is what people need, community is what people need, relationship is what people need. And if religion is willing to do that, then religion has a place in the 21st century.
You have an article that's coming out, when this actually airs, it would have already been out for a little while, about things that people just shouldn't say anymore about, about Jesus. Does Jesus save you, and those types of things. And how is that part of the, and if you go back and read that, and we'll put up a link to that at the end of this episode, and say, can you say more about that, about what people shouldn't say anymore in that type of
Well, I didn't write that article. I shared that article, but in that art, and I forget the name of the person who did. It was on the Huffington Post, but it was from a religious writer, and some of the things were, stop saying that things happen for a reason. People who suffer tragedy shouldn't be told that was a good thing, and stop saying that.
When people die, they go to a better place.
Yes, because we don't know about the next place. Our job is to try to heal this place, and and of course one of the most horrible things is to try to convince someone, one, you are innately evil, you are a sinner, and God required a human sacrifice to fix that, and it only works if you believe it.
Right.
So this Jesus died for your sins doesn't empower people. It doesn't make God look very good. And so this was another progressive Christian writer saying there are some tried and stayed cliches that Christians have clung to, that Christians need to get rid of. But that is one expression of religion. Those are things you might not hear from other religious people outside of Christianity. This was a Christian challenging his fellow Christians to stop using 14th century religion or 18th century religion in the 21st century, because it will prove to be irrelevant and not compelling and not attractive.
Well, great. Well, thank you both for contributing to our discussion today on why religion in the 21st century. And thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to having you back with us again soon. Take care. Thank you for joining us for another great episode of Sharing the Light. Tell your friends about this online ministry. And when you're in Southeast Florida, make sure you worship with us on a Sunday at the 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. service. And now for a final word from our senior pastor, the Reverend Dr. Durrell Watkins.
Email me at Durrell@sunshinecathedral.net if you have a religious question or if you'd like to subscribe to our daily devotional magazine, Spirit and Truth. We'll send it anywhere in the United States for an annual donation of any size. You can also email us prayer requests, or you can make donations on our website, www.sunshinecathedral.org. You'll also want to check out our great performing arts series, religious education classes, conferences, and other exciting activities. For now, we wish you many blessings on your spiritual journey.